All right, so Wilt Chamberlain, huh? I mean, the guy's a legend, right? 100 points in a single game. That's just insane.
It is, it is. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface with Wilt. His story goes way deeper than that one night. We got some excerpts from a biography here, a couple articles too, focusing on different parts of his career.
And it seems like there's a lot more to this guy than just basketball.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're talking breaking barriers, pushing limits, the whole deal. By the end of this, you'll see why he's considered a titan, not just on the court, but in, well, life in general.
All right, so let's get into it then. Where do we even start with a guy like Wilt Chamberlain?
Well, you got to start with his journey, right? The path to greatness and all that.
Yeah, because it wasn't just raw talent that got him there.
Oh, he definitely had that. Like, imagine being 7 feet tall as a teenager.
Seriously. I read somewhere that colleges were changing their rules just to try and keep up with him in high school.
Exactly. He was already changing the game before he even went pro.
Yeah.
And then, college, same story, breaking records left and right. But then, boom, NBA rookie year, he just explodes.
Let me guess, insane stats right out of the gate.
Oh, yeah. Troy Napre averaging 37.6 points and 27 rebounds per game.
Per game. Okay, that's just ridiculous.
It is, even by today's standards.
All right, well, speaking of ridiculous, we got to talk about the game.
The 100-point game.
March 2nd, 1962. Every basketball fan knows that date. But what was the story there? Was it just one of those nights where everything was falling for him?
It wasn't just some, random scoring spree. He was playing against the Knicks. And they were pulling out all the stops to try and stop him, even fouling him like crazy throughout the game.
So he had to fight for every basket.
Absolutely. It was a testament to his skill, but also his, just pure determination.
This makes you think about those moments in your own life, right? What would it take for you to achieve your own 100-point game? It's got to be more than just raw talent, yeah.
It's about pushing your limits, being strategic, having that resilience to keep going, even when things get tough.
Just like Wilt.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Wilt could have easily just kept chasing those scoring titles, just racking up points.
But he didn't.
Nope. He actually decided to evolve his game, to become a more complete player.
And from what I'm seeing here, he really succeeded at that. Became a defensive powerhouse, led the league in rebounds, even topped the assist charts one year.
I know, right? The guy was a beast on both ends of the court.
So he wasn't just a one-trick pony.
Not at all. He was a multifaceted player, understood that true success was bigger than just individual achievements.
It's like he was constantly pushing himself to grow.
A true growth mindset. Think about something you're good at. Now imagine pushing yourself to become the best at the exact opposite of that.
That's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
That's Wilt.
Yeah.
But, okay, we got to address the elephant in the room.
The free throws.
Yeah, even the greatest have their weaknesses, right?
Definitely. But what matters is how they handle those weaknesses.
And Wilt, he didn't shy away from it. He knew it was an issue, even tried different techniques, experimented a bit.
But the thing is, he was also facing so much more than just, basketball critiques.
This was a time of major change in America, and Wilt was right at the center of it. Fame, race relations, the whole 9 yards. He was a symbol, not just an athlete.
And from what I'm reading here, he didn't shy away from those conversations either.
He used his platform to speak out, to challenge the status quo. That's a big part of his legacy, too. He transcended the sport.
So we're talking about someone who wasn't just physically gifted, but also mentally strong and willing to use his position to make a difference.
Exactly. Wilt was, a lot more than just a basketball player.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. His incredible talent, his determination, his willingness to evolve, and also his impact off the court. It's clear that Wilt Chamberlain was a force to be reckoned with on multiple levels.
He was. And there's still so much more to uncover about this guy.
Well, luckily for us, we've got more time to dive into all that. But for now, we're going to take a quick break. Stick around. We'll be right back with more on the fascinating life of Wilt Chamberlain.
It's really amazing when you dig into all the stuff he did outside of basketball, too.
Yeah, this guy was like a Renaissance man or something. I'm reading about his track and field records, his volleyball skills.
Right.
Even thought about a career in boxing at one point.
Seriously. Was there anything Wilt couldn't do?
It makes you wonder.
It really shows you the range of his talents,
Yeah, and how he was always pushing himself beyond what people expected.
Absolutely. And it's a good reminder for all of us, right? We don't have to limit ourselves to just one thing.
Totally. You think about that saying, Jack of all trades, master of none.
Right.
But then they always leave out the rest of it. But oftentimes better than a master of one.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
I think Wilt kind of embodies that, But okay, let's talk about the social side of things for a sec. This was a time of huge change in America.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Wilt was right in the thick of it.
Absolutely. He was a cultural icon, and he used that to advocate for equality, challenge the norms, all that.
He didn't hold back, even when it meant facing backlash.
He didn't. That's a key part of his legacy, you know?
Yeah, using his influence to make a difference, fight for something bigger than himself, it makes you think, what if he'd just focused on scoring? What if he'd played in today's NBA?
Oh, man, the what-ifs are endless, right?
Totally. But I think the real takeaway here is just the sheer potential Wilt had.
Yeah, he was always pushing boundaries, on and off the court.
And that's something we can all learn from, right? Like, what if we approached our passions with even half the dedication Wilt had?
Imagine what we could accomplish.
Seriously. All right, so we're starting to wrap up this deep dive into the life of Wilt Chamberlain. What are some of the key takeaways we should all be walking away with here?
Well, first off, find your strengths, right? And go after them with everything you've got.
Like Wilt did with basketball.
Exactly. But also, don't be afraid to adapt, to evolve your approach. We saw that with Wilt, right?
Yeah.
He didn't just settle for being a scorer.
Became a defensive monster, a skilled passer.
He was always refining his game.
And here's a big one. Use your talents to make a difference.
Yeah, Wilt used his platform to advocate for social justice, showed us that true greatness extends beyond personal success.
It's about making the world a better place.
Exactly. And never give up on your goals.
Yeah, Wilt faced plenty of setbacks, but he never lost sight of what he wanted.
He persevered, adapted, and ultimately achieved incredible success.
On and off the court.
Wilt Chamberlain, a true force of nature, he really showed us what's possible when you push boundaries and redefine the game.
So until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, and keep pushing yourself to be the best version of you.
You never know what incredible things you might achieve.
Man, it's really inspiring, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
To see someone achieve that kind of athletic dominance,
Mm-hmm.
but also use that platform to, advocate for change and broaden their horizons beyond the sport.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that
Mm-hmm.
greatness comes in many forms.
They do.
We often get caught up in the tangible stuff,
Yeah.
the records, the accolades.
Right.
But true greatness, it's also about pushing those boundaries, using your talents to help others.
To make a difference.
Yeah, and keep evolving as a person.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up our deep dive on Wilt Chamberlain, I want to bring it back to you, the listener. What's one thing you learned about Wilt today that maybe shifted your perspective a bit?
Maybe it was his dedication, his willingness to adapt, or maybe even his commitment to, using his platform for good.
Right.
Whatever it is, hold on to that. Let it fuel your own journey,
Because at the end of the day, Wilt's legacy goes beyond basketball, right?
It does, yeah.
It's about that potential we all have within us, the power to push our boundaries, redefine our own game,
Exactly.
and make a real impact on the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself.
You never know what incredible things you might accomplish.
Oh.